you're a hollow body player.
Yeah, a lot of times.
I see a lot of that, and you know, I'm just curious. You know, is there something specific about the 345 here, tone-wise? Is there anything that you do differently when you're playing? Are you writing the volumes and the tones while you're doing stuff, man? And you know, what's kind of in your arsenal there when you're using this weapon here?
You know, like these tone knobs, like they're either off or on. You know, if I really want to accomplish like what Clapton called the woman tone, I'll just turn them down. But I've never really, with the 345, had to adjust them much.
Okay.
Because that bridge pickup setting's always just right on. It's pure. And with my 345, which is different than this one because it's stereo, and I don't want to pull out the PAFs to you know, fuck with that at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't bother with rewiring it. So I use a stereo cable. Or I use a regular cable because I'm swapping guitars in and out. So I'm usually one pickup at a time anyway.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't really have the option of swapping like you do on this newer model. So I usually plug it all the way in and then I'm locked in. Or I can pull it halfway out and I can go to the neck. But I don't do that.
You don't do that, yeah.
So we're just bridge pickup. And, you know, the tonality of it's just so pure. And what I've always really liked about, you know, like a 345 is that it's really versatile, you know. And I never really found the need to use the tone knobs because I feel you can do it in your hands, you know, and just your attack and the way that you're able to make it respond, you know what I mean?
Now, this bridge, there's no arm here, but the significance of that, because I've noticed I've played some Trinis in the past, and I know that bridge, you know, it's influential on the tone of the guitar. Did you find that there's something magical going on here with this type of bridge here that you've stayed on that model, that you've kept on there?
Yeah, so when I got the guitar from my dad, he had convinced my grandfather to put a stop tailpiece. So that's what he did. But all the photographs that I had of my grandfather in the 60s and 70s, you know, playing out in clubs, he always had this, you know, maestro, the sideways vibrola.
Yeah.
And I always just thought that looked so sharp, man.
It does, man. It gives it a royal, like, kind of vibe to it. You know?
It's like taking the grill off your Cadillac.
Thank you.
You know?
Yes, that's exactly it. So and this new version of your model, now I know we did a custom shop one. I've got that one hanging back there. This new model is basically, you know, it's still got, you know, custom buckers and all that. I'm just curious, you know, what was the thinking behind re-releasing this again? I know the past one was limited, right?
Yeah, it sure was. And I was really proud of that model, and I was really thankful to be able to, you know, share that model with friends and to give a model actually to my dad. Less than 10 years after he gave me my grandfather's guitar, I was able to give him a replica of it back so he could have it for his arsenal. And that really meant a great deal to my family because that guitar is such a, you know, just physical representation of the patriarch of our family that we lost. And with this model, what I like is, you know, the variatone is really cool, but I don't use it. My grandfather didn't use it. Most of the guys I know that have a 345 don't really use it. In the studio, sometimes I'll mess with different settings, but live, you know, it affects the volume in such a way that I kind of keep it in one position.
Sure.
So to not have it on here is, you know,
just simplified.
It's not really affecting anything. So this is a quasi-simplified version of the custom shop that we did and the one that I carry. And if I recall correctly, I mean, I know on my Big Red, you know, it still has the arm, but it's still locked down underneath here.
Yeah.
You know, when you take this cap off,
right,
it's pretty much a stop tailpiece, but down here. So you get the aesthetic of it, but you don't get the effects of the tuning issues or anything like that. The arm's not in the way of the effects here. And you got a mono input, which is going to be a lot easier for you.